White. Nothing but white. Leo's fingers locked to the door handle. Blue-white. The color of something already dead. The metal had fused to his skin ice, acting as glue between flesh and steel. He pulled. A strip of skin peeled away. Clean, like wet paper tearing off a wall. The Land Rover groaned. Not the engine, the frame itself. Metal shrieking under pressure, slow, patient, unstoppable. The blizzard was crushing the $120,000 SUV like an empty soda can. The roof bowed inward. Taylor hammered on the window. His breath came in short gasps. Chloe pressed against the far door, lips moving in silent prayer. Then a shape appeared outside Leo's window. A man, tall, still, like he'd been carved from the storm itself. Taylor's voice cracked. "Help us, please." The man's face was weathered, harder than the mountain. He looked at them the way a judge looks at a guilty verdict. His voice cut through the roar. Calm, cold, final. "I warned you about the rope 3 days ago." He held up a coil of thick, frayed cord. "Now we use it to pull you out. Or tie your bodies down. Before we see how their arrogance paid its price in a blizzard and why that rope became the line between life and death hit. Subscribe right now. You're about to witness a journey of justice and compassion. 24 hours earlier, the sun had been shining. The Land Rover Defender 2024 rolled up to the National Forest gate just after 9 a.m. Custom rims, leather interior, the kind of vehicle that cost more than most families earned in 2 years. Taylor Ashford sat in the driver's seat, phone angled perfectly. 23, trust fund. 200,000 followers. The gate guard stepped out. 70, maybe older, flannel shirt, work boots. He moved like a man who'd walked these mountains for decades. Taylor powered down the window. "Morning. We're here for biological research. Student project." The old guard squinted at the 3 faces. Taylor up front, Leo with his laptop, Chloe surrounded by camera gear. Too much equipment. The influencer kind. North trails are closed this time of year. Weather turns fast. GPS quits past mile marker 7. "We've got satellite." Leo held up his phone. "Satellite won't help if you're buried before anyone knows you're missing." Taylor's smile thinned. "We know what we're doing." The guard reached for an old paper map on his dashboard. "Take this. Trail markers get buried." "Hey, Grandpa." Taylor waved him off. "You can keep your little paper relic. We have 5G and satellites. You're blocking my shot." He gestured to the phone on the dash, recording. The guard's jaw tightened. He stared at Taylor, then Leo, then Chloe. "I'm telling you not to go. And I'm telling you we're fine." Taylor's voice hardened. "My dad's the governor. You going to stop us?" The silence stretched. The guard's hand hovered near his radio. His eyes caught the blinking recording light. He stepped back, raised the gate. "When the storm hits, no one's coming. Not in time." Taylor laughed. The Rover purred forward. Inside, the dashboard lit up. The HUD projected a 3D map onto the windshield. Bright blue lines traced their route. "Satellite locked. Did you get that?" Taylor asked Chloe. "Perfect. This is going to crush." The SUV climbed into the mountains. Behind them, the guard watched until they vanished. He pulled his radio, held it, clipped it back. He'd warned them. Some lessons had to be learned the hard way. He folded his map, slipped it into his coat. The forest swallowed them whole. 20 minutes in, the temperature dropped. Leo's phone buzzed. Weather alert. Severe blizzard warning. Wind gusts 60+ mph. Seek shelter immediately. "Guys," Taylor grabbed the phone, powered it off. "No distractions. We've got content to shoot." Leo went quiet. Taylor had the followers, the brand deals, the power. "We're fine." Taylor tapped the HUD. The satellite icon glowed. "Technology. We're not cavemen." The road turned to dirt, then gravel, then snow. 20 minutes later, flakes fell. The temperature plummeted. 10 degrees in 10 minutes. Then, another 10. Leo noticed his breath fogging. "It's getting cold." "Heat's on," Taylor snapped. but his voice had an edge. The flakes thickened. The wipers struggled. 10 minutes more. Gray. 5 minutes after that, they couldn't see the hood. The HUD flickered. Died. GPS. Signal lost. Taylor's hands tightened. No problem. We backtrack. He shifted to reverse. There were no tire tracks. The snow had erased them. Where's the compass? Leo's voice pitched higher. Taylor stared at the dark screen. It's digital. Runs off GPS. The analog backup. Everything's integrated. The whole system runs through satellite. The wind hit. The SUV rocked. Taylor, we need to go back. Chloe's voice shook. I'm trying. The tires spun. Found nothing. The Rover slid. Dropped. Impact. The engine coughed. Died. Taylor turned the key. Nothing. Click, click, click. The heating vents blew cold. Then stopped. Silence. Just wind. And breathing. We're stuck, Leo whispered. Through the windshield. White. The temperature inside began to drop. They sat in the dead car for 10 minutes before Taylor spoke. We walk. There. He pointed at a dark shape through the snow. Shelter. A cabin. Old. Half buried. They pushed the doors open. Stumbled through knee-deep snow. Chloe fell. Leo pulled her up. Breathing. Took everything. The cabin door was locked. Taylor kicked it. Once. Twice. The wood splintered. Inside. One room. Wood stove. Table. Cot. Shelves with canned goods. No electricity. No water. Jesus. Taylor's breath plumed. Someone actually lives like this? It's better than the car, Chloe said. Barely. Taylor swept his phone light across the walls. Started filming. Guys, check this out. Some hermit's shack. No power. No Wi-Fi. This is what happens when you reject civilization. Leo moved to the table. An old map lay there, hand-drawn. Trails in faded pencil. Notes in tight handwriting. Taylor was still filming, mocking the photographs. The stove. Leo's fingers closed on the map, folded it, shoved it into his backpack. Maybe it was worth something. Vintage. And whoever lived here probably had it memorized anyway. We should go. Chloe's voice was quiet but firm. This isn't ours. Relax. Whoever lives here isn't coming back in this. We'll leave cash. The door opened. A man stood in the frame. Tall, broad shoulders under a heavy coat, snow in his beard, eyes the color of winter. He looked at the broken door, at them, at Taylor holding the can of beans. Said nothing. Taylor straightened. Hey man, sorry about the door. We got stuck. Car died. We just needed... The man walked past him, took a coil of rope from the wall. His hands moved fast, tying, looping, pulling. 15 seconds. A harness formed. He held it out to Taylor. Taylor laughed. We have climbing harnesses in the car, dude. State of the art. This is... cute, I guess. Very rustic. He waved it away. His hand caught the rope. It fell. Landed in mud by the door. The man looked down. Then at Taylor. Still nothing. He bent, picked up the rope, pulled a rag from his pocket, wiped the mud from each coil. Slowly, carefully. When he finished, he stepped close to Taylor, made him look up. His voice was low, deliberate. The eyes can lie, boy. Sometimes the soul must see what is hidden. He held up the rope. Batteries die. Knots do not. He hung it back, turned to the door. Stopped. Storm's coming. Real one. 20 minutes before you cannot see. Get to your car. Stay inside. Do not drive. Do not walk out. 1. We're good. Taylor's voice had an edge. We've got technology. We're not worried about some snow. The man looked at him. You should be. He walked out. Vanished into white. Taylor turned to the others. What a freak. Let's get back to the Rover. This place smells like mildew and poverty. The car's got heated seats, climate control. We'll be way more comfortable. Maybe we should stay, Chloe said. He lives here. He knows. He's a crazy old man in a shack with no running water. Taylor moved to the door. Our car cost more than this cabin's worth. Trust me, we're better off. They pushed back out. The walk took twice as long. The wind had teeth. temperature dropping. Leo's app showed 18 degrees. At the Rover, Taylor popped the trunk, pulled out climbing gear. The harnesses were tangled, high-tech straps twisted into knots. His fingers too cold to work them. Forget it. He shoved them back. We'll deal with it later. The sky had gone from white to gray to darker. We should call someone, Leo said. And say what? We ignored warnings and broke into a cabin. My dad would kill me. We're fine. Wait out the storm. Post the content. Done. They climbed inside. The car rocked in the wind. Leo tried the ignition. Nothing. The backup GPS battery. Dead. Do we have a compass? Physical? Taylor rummaged through the glove box. Manual. Registration. Gauge. No compass. It's integrated. Nav system handles everything. The temperature gauge showed 12 degrees outside. Dropping. Ice formed on the inside of the windows. It's getting cold, Chloe said. The car's insulated. Taylor zipped his jacket higher. Better than that dump back there. They sat, listening to wind build, watching the world disappear. 20 minutes. The wind changed pitch. Lower now. A moan that rattled the frame. Metal creaked. Subtle. Constant. Like the car was breathing wrong. 30 minutes. The gray turned black. The windshield became solid white. Ice crusted inside. Their breath hung heavy. Chloe pulled out her phone. I'm texting my mom. Just so someone knows. No signal, Leo said. He'd already checked. Taylor stared at the dead HUD. At the satellite icon that wasn't there. His hands were shaking. He shoved them under his arms. Leo felt the map through his backpack. The paper pressed against his spine. Heavy. He didn't say anything. The real cold came then. Not winter cold. Something alive. Something hungry. 20 degrees. 15. 10. Their breath turned to thick clouds. Chloe started to hum. Soft. A hymn. What are you doing? Taylor snapped. My grandpa taught me this. Her voice was steady. Stronger than his. In Korea, when his unit was pinned down in the cold, he said singing keeps your mind from freezing before your body does. Taylor opened his mouth. Closed it. The wind screamed. The car shuddered. The metal groaned louder now, a sound like weight pressing down, the roof bowing slightly inward. Leo's teeth chattered. We should have taken the rope. What? The old man. He tried to help. We laughed. He was a hermit, Taylor said. No conviction left. The windshield cracked. Small fracture. Spider webbing from the cold. Taylor stared at his phone. 20% battery. No signal. No data. He powered it off. The GPS screen flickered. One last time. 3 words in red. GPS. Signal lost. The wind built. And built. Until it was everything. Leo's backpack felt heavier. The stolen map. The rope they'd rejected. The warning they'd ignored. Chloe kept humming. The only sound besides the storm. And in the darkness outside, something moved. A shape. Tall. Still. Watching. The shape outside didn't move. Taylor saw it first. A silhouette against white. Tall. Too still to be the wind. Someone's out there. Leo pressed his face to the glass. Squinted. Maybe it's... The shape vanished. Where'd it go? Taylor's voice cracked. I don't know. They waited, staring into nothing. 5 minutes passed. The cold deepened. Their breath turned to fog so thick they could barely see each other. Taylor grabbed the key. Turned it. Click, click, click. Come on. Come on. Nothing. He slammed the steering wheel. We're getting out of here. I'll reverse us out. The engine's dead, Leo said. I know. Taylor turned the key again. Harder. Like force would make it work. But maybe if we... Click. Chloe leaned forward. Taylor. Stop. You're draining the battery. There's backup power. This is a $120,000 vehicle. It has redundant systems. He turned the key again. The dashboard didn't even click this time. Complete silence. No. Taylor's hands shook. No, no, no. Leo pulled out his satellite phone. The expensive one. Military grade. Guaranteed global coverage. The screen lit up. He held it toward the window. Waited. Searching for signal. Searching for signal. No service. That's impossible. Leo's voice was hollow. This works everywhere. Antarctica. Middle of the ocean. Everywhere. Apparently not here, Chloe said quietly. Taylor grabbed his iPhone. Held it up. Same thing. No bars. No emergency signal. Nothing. He tried Chloe's phone. Leo's backup. All dead. We're in the mountains, Taylor said. He was talking fast now. Manic. My dad is the governor. When we don't check in, he'll send people. He'll have the National Guard in here. Helicopters. Search teams. They'll find us. When do you usually check in? Chloe asked. Taylor stopped. Tonight. I was supposed to call tonight. It's only 3 p.m. The words hung there. 7 hours. Minimum. Before anyone even knew they were missing. Leo remembered something. Wait. In Scouts, we learned if you're stuck in a vehicle in cold, you turn off everything. Preserve battery. Use body heat. Shut up about Scouts. Taylor's voice was raw. Just fix the GPS. You're supposed to be good with tech. The GPS runs off satellite. There's no satellite. Then do something else. Leo flinched. Went silent. Chloe's voice cut through. Soft, but steel. Yelling won't make us warmer. Taylor turned on her. Oh, so now you're in charge? You got a better plan? My grandpa fought in Korea. She met his eyes. Didn't blink. He told me about the Chosin Reservoir. Surrounded. 40 below zero. He said when you can't move forward, don't move back. Just breathe. Panic kills faster than cold. Your grandpa had a rifle and a unit. We have dead phones and a sound outside. Scraping. Metal on metal. They froze. The sound moved along the driver's side. Slow. Deliberate. What is that? Leo whispered. Taylor's hand went to the door lock. Already locked. The scraping stopped. Silence. Then it came from the other side. Passenger door now. Moving around the car. It's an animal, Taylor said, but his voice shook. Just an animal. The scraping stopped at Leo's window. Leo looked. In the snow pressed against the glass. A print. Paw. No too big for a paw. Massive. 4 toes. Claws longer than fingers. Wolf. Chloe breathed. The print was fresh. Still there. Eye level. Which meant the wolf was standing on something. On the snow that had piled against the car. Which meant they were buried. Leo looked at the driver's side window. Snow pressed halfway up. The passenger side. 3/4. We're getting covered, he said. Taylor stared at the wolf print. At the size of it. How big is that thing? No one answered. The temperature inside was 5 degrees now. Maybe less. Their skin had gone from cold to numb. Chloe's lips were pale. Leo couldn't feel his feet. The heater vents blew nothing. Leo tried the door. Pushed. It moved an inch. Snow packed against it. Too heavy. We're trapped. Don't say that. Taylor's teeth chattered. Don't. We're not. A howl split the air. Long. Low. Close. Then another. From a different direction. Then a third. They're circling us, Chloe said. Her hymn had stopped. She was just breathing now. Slow. Controlled. Trying to stay calm. Taylor looked at his phone. The black screen. He pressed the power button. Nothing. Dead. He threw it. It bounced off the dashboard. This is your fault. He turned on Leo. You wanted to come here. You said it'd be an adventure. You're the one who turned off the weather alert. Because you said the tech was reliable. Stop. Chloe's voice was quiet, but it cut through. Both of you. Stop. They stopped. She was looking out the back window. At something. What? Taylor followed her gaze. Darkness. Snow. And 2 yellow eyes. Watching. The wolf didn't move. Just stared. Patient. Taylor's breath came in short gasps. We're going to die out here. No, Leo said. But his voice had no strength. Yes, we are. We're going to freeze or get eaten or both, and no one will find us until spring. And the car lurched. Hard. Sudden. They slammed against their seatbelts. What was that? Chloe grabbed the seat. Another lurch. The Rover tilted. Forward. Down. We're sliding. Leo braced against the dash. The car dropped. 6 inches. A foot. Metal screamed. The frame twisted. They'd fallen into a ravine. The snow had been holding them. Now it gave way. The Rover settled. Tilted at 20 degrees. Nose down. The engine made a final sound. A cough. A wheeze. Then nothing. Complete silence. Except for the wind. And something else. From outside. Slow. Rhythmic. Knock. 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 On the driver's side window. Not a branch. Not the wind. Knuckles. Taylor couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. The knock came again. Knock. 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 Deliberate. Patient. Like someone had been waiting. Like they'd been expected. Taylor's hand shook as he reached for the window button. Don't, Chloe whispered. What if it's not? It's him. Leo's voice was flat. It has to be. Taylor pressed the button. Nothing. No power. The knock came again. He grabbed the manual release. The window cracked open an inch. Wind screamed through. Snow blasted inside. A face appeared. The old man. Snow in his beard. Ice on his eyebrows. Eyes clear. Focused. Focused. He wasn't shivering. Taylor's teeth chattered. Help us. Please. The man said nothing. Just looked at them. At the tilted car. The dead dashboard. Taylor fumbled for his wallet. Pulled out bills. Hundreds. Take it. He shoved money toward the gap. $5,000. Just get us out. The man looked at the cash. Then at Taylor. Shook his head once. Taylor's voice rose. 10,000. My dad will pay whatever you want. Name your price. The man reached into his coat. Pulled out a rope. The same rope. The one Taylor had knocked into the mud. Clean now. Coiled perfectly. He held it up. Said nothing. The meaning was clear. Taylor thought money could buy his life. But here, between breathing and not, $100 bill is just paper. If you were Obadiah, mocked, rejected, disrespected, would you save them? Comment, forgive, or karma below. The money slipped from Taylor's frozen fingers. Bills tumbled out, spun in the wind. One caught on the mirror. Then, disappeared. Obadiah didn't even glance. His eyes stayed on Taylor. Taylor's throat closed. His whole life, money had been the answer. Money opened doors, fixed problems, made people move. Here, it was nothing. I'm sorry. About the rope, about everything. Please. The man's expression didn't change. He moved to the front, looped the rope through the tow hook. Efficient. Practiced. He came back. Spoke. Money buys comfort. It does not buy knowledge. He pointed at the dead satellite display. Do you trust the satellite that died, or the soul that lives? Silence. The man gestured. Out. Walk. The wolves, Taylor started, are downwind. You follow. You live. You stay. He looked at the tilted car. Snow piling higher. You do not. He turned. Started walking. The rope stretched behind him. Leo looked at the rope, then at Taylor. Something shifted in his face. Recognition. His scout training flooding back. He'd learned this. Rope systems. Trust anchors. Follow the lifeline. He'd laughed at it all. Called it outdated. Now it was the only thing that mattered. He shoved the door open. Snow cascaded in. Cold hit like a wall. He pushed through. Grabbed the rope. Leo! Taylor shouted. Leo looked back. His eyes weren't angry, just disappointed. I'm going with him. He turned, followed the rope into white. Chloe looked at Taylor. We have to go. He could be... Taylor, steel in her voice. Look around. We're dying. In an hour, we can't walk. In 2, we can't think. By morning, frozen. She opened her door, grabbed the rope. Are you coming? Taylor looked at the dashboard. GPS dead, satellite phone failed, expensive gear, useless. Everything he'd trusted. Gone. Everything he'd mocked. Alive, he climbed out. The cold tried to kill him instantly. Wind, ice, needles in his face. He couldn't see, couldn't hear. His hand found the rope. Rough hemp. Coarse. He gripped it. Hard. The only real thing. Ahead, the old man walked. Steady. Like the storm was nothing. The rope connected them. Taylor, Chloe, Leo, all holding on. The man didn't look back. Just walked. Because money didn't matter. Because the satellite was dead. Because the soul was alive. Taylor's fingers ached, but he didn't let go. This rope, the one he'd thrown away, was saving his life. Behind them, the rover disappeared, swallowed by white. They walked into darkness. Following rope, following the man they'd mocked, following light they couldn't see. The rope pulled taut. 3 bodies connected by hemp, moving through white. Obadiah led. Taylor behind him. Chloe next. Leo at the rear. The wind came in waves. Each gust hit like a fist. The cold wasn't cold anymore. It was something alive, something with teeth. Leo's feet found purchase on ice. Then rock. Then nothing. His boot slipped. He grabbed for the rope. Missed. His body tilted. The backpack shifted. Heavy. Wrong. The strap snapped. No. The pack tumbled. Black against white. Spinning. Gone. Into the ravine. Leo lunged. His hand caught air. He screamed, "The map! I had the map in there!" The words hit the silence like a gunshot. Obadiah stopped. The rope went slack. Taylor turned, slow, his face a mask of confusion. Then understanding. Then something that looked like fear. "What did you say?" Leo couldn't breathe. His chest heaved. The cold burned his lungs. "The map. It was I had—" Taylor grabbed Leo's coat. Not hard. Desperate. His voice cracked. "You stole his map?" "I didn't think." Taylor's grip loosened. His hands shook. Not from cold. "We're dead." His voice went flat. Empty. "We're all dead." "I know." "You stole from the man." Taylor couldn't finish. His breath came in gasps. "The only man who knows the way out." "I know." Leo's voice broke, shattered. "I know. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." Chloe's voice cut through. "Quiet. Steady. Taylor. Let him go." Taylor's hands dropped. He stepped back, stared at Leo. Then at the ravine where the pack had vanished. His trust fund couldn't buy them out of this. His father's name meant nothing here. Obadiah turned. The wind stopped. Just for a moment. Like the mountain was listening. He walked back. 3 steps. 4. His boots crunched on ice. He stopped in front of Leo. Said nothing. Leo couldn't look up. Couldn't meet those eyes. 10 seconds passed. No one breathed. The wind was the only sound. Taylor stared at the ground. His shoulders slumped. This was it. The end. All because Leo. Obadiah's voice came low. Deliberate. Each word carved from stone. "That map is 40 years old." Leo flinched. "Every trail, every safe path, every warning." Pause. "Now it's gone." Another pause. Longer. "You just killed all of us." The words landed like a death sentence. Taylor's knees buckled. He grabbed the rope to stay upright. Leo's lips moved, but no sound came out. The silence pressed down, heavier than snow, heavier than cold. Chloe watched Obadiah, not Leo, not Taylor, just him. His face, his stillness, the way he stood like a statue in the storm. Then Obadiah smiled. Not with warmth, with something older, knowledge. Chloe's breath caught. She saw it before the others did. The calm behind his eyes, the certainty. He tapped his temple. Once. Twice. "Lucky I drew it in here when I was 32. Leo looked up, hope and confusion warring on his face. "Memory doesn't need batteries, son." The breath left Leo's lungs. Not from cold, from relief so sharp it hurt. Taylor's voice came out hoarse. You memorized it?" Obadiah didn't answer, just turned, started walking. The rope pulled tight again. Chloe looked at Leo, then at Taylor. Her eyes said what her mouth didn't. He knew. He knew all along. Leo grabbed the rope with both hands. his fingers numb, his heart hammering. They followed. But something had shifted. The weight on the rope felt different now, heavier, not from snow or ice. From debt, Taylor walked like a man in a dream, a nightmare. They were alive because of mercy, because Obadiah was more than they'd ever be. The theft sat between them, unspoken, a third presence on the rope. Chloe hummed, soft, almost inaudible. The hymn her grandpa taught her, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. The terrain changed, steeper now, rockier. Obadiah's pace didn't slow. He moved like he could see through the white, like the mountains spoke to him in a language they'd never learn. The wind picked up again, stronger. The rope jerked. Leo stumbled but held on. Ahead, Obadiah raised his hand. Stop. They froze. He stood at the edge of something, his silhouette dark against white. Taylor moved closer. Looked down. His stomach dropped. A sheer cliff dropping into nothing. Across the 20-foot gap of empty air and ice, the path continued. Obadiah turned, his face calm, almost serene. Devil's drop. The wind howled, like the mountain was laughing. Taylor looked at the gap, at the ice coating every surface, at the rope in his frozen hands. We can't. We must. Chloe stepped forward, looked across, her voice barely a whisper. How? Obadiah pulled the rope through his hands, checking, testing. His fingers moved with practiced ease. The same way a soul crosses any chasm. He looked at each of them. Taylor, Chloe, Leo. Chloe met his eyes, held them. She understood. You hold fast to what you cannot see. The mantra hung in the air. Leo felt the weight of it. The stolen map, the broken trust, the mercy that kept them breathing. Taylor's hand tightened on the rope. This wasn't a video anymore. Wasn't content. This was the price of every choice they'd made. Obadiah tied a knot. Quick, efficient. The same Swiss seat he'd tried to show them yesterday. Yesterday. A lifetime ago. When I say move, Obadiah's voice cut through. You move. Not before. Not after. Exactly when. He looked at the gap. At the wind. At something they couldn't see. Understand? 3 voices. Barely audible. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes. Obadiah nodded once. He stepped to the edge. Behind them, in the ravine far below, Leo's backpack lay buried in snow. The map inside, stolen, lost, but still there, waiting. Like every mistake, every theft, every lie, never truly gone, just hidden. Obadiah's voice rang out. Hold fast, the wind screamed, and they stepped into the void. Devil's Drop. The name made sense now. The ledge was barely 3 feet wide. Ice coated every surface. The rock face dropped straight down 200 feet, maybe more. On the other side, the path continued. Safe, solid, between them. Nothing but air and wind. Obadiah stood at the edge, perfectly still, his head tilted slightly, listening. Taylor couldn't move. His legs had locked, his eyes fixed on the void. I can't. His voice came out strangled. I can't do this. Obadiah didn't turn. He wet his index finger, held it up, turned slowly, his face angled into the wind, eyes closed. Reading something invisible. Northwest, he said. 2 degrees warmer on the left cheek. That's the safe route. He glanced at his wrist. The Timex. Analog face. No digital screen to freeze. No batteries to die. The second hand swept around. Steady. Reliable. He watched the wind. Counted. A gust hit. The rope whipped. Obadiah's lips moved. Silent numbers. Another gust. Stronger. 8 seconds. His voice cut through the roar. Consistent. The valley's breathing steady. Safe window. He pulled out a small compass. Brass. Old. The needle swung. Found north. Held steady. We cross during the lull. Single file. Rope stays tight. You slip. I hold you. He looked at each of them. Move when I say. Stop when I say. Chloe nodded. Her lips moved in silent prayer. Leo swallowed hard. Okay. Taylor couldn't speak, his fingers white on the rope. Obadiah stepped onto the ledge. The wind screamed, his coat whipped, but his feet moved with absolute certainty. He reached the narrowest point, stopped, turned back. Chloe, now. She stepped forward, didn't hesitate. Her hand found the rock face, her feet placed carefully. The hymn came again, barely audible. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, she crossed, made it to Obadiah's side. Leo moved, his breathing rapid, shallow. Halfway across, a gust hit early. His foot slipped. Down! Obadiah barked. Leo dropped, body pressed flat. The wind roared over him. Up! Move! Leo scrambled forward, made it across, his legs shaking. Obadiah looked back. Taylor stood frozen, eyes wide, vacant. Taylor, look at me. Nothing. Obadiah crossed back, fast, stood in front of Taylor, gripped both shoulders. Look at me. Not down. At me. Taylor's eyes tried to focus, failed. I can't see everything spinning. That's the fear, not the mountain. I'm going to fall. Obadiah's hands tightened, his voice dropped, low, commanding. You are standing on solid rock. Do you feel my hands? Yes. That's real. The fear is not. Taylor's eyes found Obadiah's. Held them. There's a light inside you, Obadiah said. Buried deep. You cannot see it, but it sees the way. The wind built. Another gust coming. Hold fast to that light. Not to what your eyes tell you. Not to what your fear screams. Obadiah stepped backward onto the ledge. His eyes never left Taylor's. Move. Taylor's foot lifted. Placed. His whole body shook, but his foot landed solid. Good. Again. Another step. The wind came. Right on schedule. 8 seconds. Down. Taylor dropped, his cheek pressed against ice, his heart hammering. The gust tore past. Up! Keep moving! Taylor rose, stepped. His eyes locked on Obadiah's. The old man backed up. Steady. A beacon in the storm. Follow my voice, not your fear. Taylor followed. 1 foot, then another. The void screamed below, but he didn't look. Halfway across, the narrowest point, Taylor's foot slipped, his body tilted. Toward the edge, Obadiah's hand shot out, grabbed his coat, held. I've got you. Trust the rope. Move. Taylor pushed, found his footing, lunged forward. Obadiah pulled. Taylor landed hard on the far side. His legs gave out. He collapsed. Obadiah stood over him. His voice carried the weight of mountains. Hold fast to the light that you cannot see. The mantra rang out. Over the wind, over the void, over everything. Taylor's breath came in sobs. He couldn't speak, couldn't form words. Something inside him had cracked open, something he didn't have language for yet. He just nodded. Once, Obadiah turned, pointed ahead. Through the white, a shape emerged. Dark, solid, a cave mouth. And inside the flicker of orange, warmth, fire. Shelter's there. Leo stared. How is there a fire? Because I said it this morning, before I came for you. Taylor's mind couldn't process it. You knew. I knew you'd need help. The mountain tells me things. I listen. They stumbled forward. The cave grew closer, the fire brighter. Chloe still hummed, her voice stronger now. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far. She looked at Obadiah's back, at the invisible thread connecting him to everything around him. The hymn wasn't just about God. It was about this, about trust, about following the voice when eyes fail. They reached the cave. The warmth hit like a wave. Inside, a fire pit, carefully arranged. Firewood stacked, emergency supplies, medical kit, food, all prepared, all waiting. Taylor turned to Obadiah, his voice hoarse. You built this, years ago, for moments like this. How many people? Enough. Obadiah moved to the fire, added wood. The flames rose. Leo sat heavily, his hands trembling. He stared at them like they belonged to someone else. These hands had stolen, had lied, had nearly killed them all. He opened his mouth, closed it. No words were big enough. Taylor stared at his hands, too. They'd held the rope. They'd held on when everything screamed to let go. But he didn't smile, didn't speak. He just looked at them, at what they'd done, at what they'd almost failed to do. Chloe knelt by the fire, whispered her thanks. Not to Obadiah, to something bigger. Obadiah heard, nodded once. Outside, the wind howled. The storm raged. Devil's Drop waited in the dark. But inside, there was warmth. There was light. And there was a man who knew both the mountain's language and the soul's. Obadiah looked at the three of them, broken, humbled, alive. Rest, he said. Tomorrow, you learn why I stay. The fire crackled. The cave walls held them safe. And in the darkness outside, the rope hung from Devil's Drop, still holding, still faithful. Just like the light they couldn't see, the fire crackled. Warmth seeped into their bones. Obadiah moved with quiet efficiency. He pulled supplies from a pack hidden in the cave wall. Dried meat, hard crackers, a canteen that should have been frozen but wasn't. He'd kept it inside his coat, against his body. Leo sat closest to the fire, his hands wrapped around a tin cup of hot water. Obadiah knelt beside him. "Let me see your hands." Leo extended them. The skin was raw, blistered from the rope. Obadiah opened a small medical kit, applied ointment, wrapped them in gauze. His movements, gentle, practiced. "Thank you," Leo whispered. Obadiah didn't respond, just moved to check Taylor's feet, then Chloe's face where ice had burned her cheeks. When he finished, he sat, fed the fire. The silence stretched. Leo broke it, his voice small. "Why do you stay here?" Obadiah stared at the flames. A long moment passed. "Because someone has to." "But why you?" Obadiah reached into his coat, pulled out something small, set it on the ground between them. A badge, USMC Recon, worn, the eagle and anchor barely visible. Next to it, a photograph, creased, faded. A woman's hand on a boy's shoulder, all three squinting into sun, smiling. Taylor leaned forward. "Your family?" "Was." The word hung heavy. Chloe's hand went to her mouth. "What happened?" Obadiah picked up the photo. His thumb traced the edge. 3 years ago, they came here, this valley. I was guiding another group. Couldn't be with them." He stopped, swallowed. "Storm came fast. By the time I got here," he didn't finish. Didn't need to. Leo's eyes filled. "I'm so sorry." Obadiah set the photo down, gently. "The forest didn't take them. God called them home. I stay to guide those who get lost trying to find themselves." Taylor's voice was raw. "Is that what we were doing?" "No." Obadiah looked at him. "You were running from yourselves. Big difference." The truth landed hard. "The Highlands, 71, Obadiah continued. "My unit got caught in a storm. Radio died. We had stars. Instinct. Nothing else." He poked the fire. Sparks rose. "Walked 47 miles back. 4 days. Lost 1 man." His jaw tightened. "Johnson. Good soldier. Better friend. I swore I'd never leave another behind." He looked at each of them. "That's why I learned everything. Wind patterns, star navigation, snow density. Every skill I could master." Leo understood now. "That's why you memorize the map. Can't trust batteries. Can't trust screens. Only what's in here." He tapped his head. "And here." His hand moved to his chest. Taylor stared at the badge, at the photo, at this man who'd lost everything and stayed where pain lived. "We mocked you," Taylor said. His voice broke. "I know." Silence. "But you saved us anyway," Leo said. "That's the job, the duty." He looked at Leo, at the guilt written across his face. "You made a mistake. You owned it. That's more than most do." Leo's throat closed. He nodded. Outside, the wind began to fade. Chloe hummed. The hymn, softer now, a lullaby. Obadiah closed his eyes, listened. When she finished, he opened them. Your grandfather taught you that. She nodded. In Korea. He said it kept him alive. He was right. They sat in the warmth, the storm dying outside, the fire living inside. Taylor looked at his phone. Dead, black, useless. He'd thought it was everything. Now it was just wait. Obadiah stood. Sleep. Dawn comes early. We walk at first light. Back to the ranger station? Leo asked. Yes. Taylor lay down, stared at the cave ceiling. He thought about his father, the governor, the power. None of it mattered here. Only the rope mattered. Only the light. Only the man who'd saved them when they deserved nothing. Morning came gray, cold, but clear. The storm had passed. They walked in silence. Single file, Obadiah leading. The ranger station appeared through trees, trucks, people, activity. But something was wrong. The air felt heavy, frantic. A helicopter sat crumpled near the tree line. Rotors bent, metal twisted. People in uniform moved with grim faces. Taylor's stomach dropped. An officer turned, saw them. His face went hard. You're the kids from the Land Rover? It wasn't a question. Taylor nodded. Couldn't speak. The officer walked closer. His jaw clenched. 2 pilots went down looking for you. Last night, in the storm. The words hit like a fist. Chloe's knees buckled. Leo grabbed her, his mind screaming. This is my fault. I stole the map. I made this happen. Taylor stood frozen. The officer's eyes were cold, accusing. They're alive. Barely. Medevac took them out an hour ago. He pointed at the wreckage. That's what your adventure cost. Taylor couldn't breathe. Leo looked at his bandaged hands. These hands had stolen, had lied. Now 2 men were broken because of choices he'd helped make. Chloe whispered a prayer. For the pilots, for their families, for forgiveness they didn't deserve. Obadiah's hand settled on Taylor's shoulder. Heavy, steady. But this time, it didn't feel like comfort. It felt like weight. The weight of consequence. The ranger station buzzed with controlled chaos. Radios crackled. Vehicles came and went. Rangers moved with tight faces and clenched jaws. Everyone knew. The officer led them inside. His name tag read Martinez. His eyes didn't leave Taylor's face. Sit. They sat. A bench against the wall. Hard wood. Cold. Martinez stood in front of them. Arms crossed. Your father called 18 hours ago. He looked at Taylor. The governor. He was very clear. Find his son, whatever it takes. Taylor's mouth went dry. We launched 2 teams, full search and rescue, into a whiteout blizzard. Martinez's voice stayed level. Against protocol, against common sense. But orders are orders. He paused. First team made it back. Barely. Second team. He gestured toward the window. Toward the wreckage. Tail rotor iced up. Gust hit them at 200 feet. They went down hard. Chloe's hand covered her mouth. Pilot's name is Marcus Webb, 34. Wife. 6-year-old daughter. Co-pilot is James Chen, 28. Engaged. Martinez pulled out his phone. Showed them photos. Webb in uniform. Little girl on his shoulders. Chen laughing. Arm around a woman. Taylor couldn't look away. Both alive, Martinez continued. Both paralyzed from the waist down. Spinal injuries. Permanent. Permanent. The word hung in the air. Permanent. Leo made a sound. Somewhere between a gasp and a cry. He bent forward, head in his hands. I'm sorry, he whispered. Martinez looked at him. Sorry doesn't give them back their legs. Through the window, they watched the cleanup. Rangers dismantling the wreckage. Every piece a reminder. A truck pulled up. 2 stretchers loaded in back, covered, but not bodies. Worse, living men who would never walk again. Martinez spoke. Those men believed in something. Service. Duty. They flew into that storm because that's what heroes do. His voice dropped. You weren't lost. You were stupid. There's a difference. The words cut deep. Clean. True. He handed Taylor a piece of paper. An address. County Hospital. Room 304. Webb's wife is there with their daughter, explaining why Daddy can't walk anymore. He walked away. That afternoon, Taylor stood outside County Hospital. Gray building, antiseptic smell, broken dreams. He found room 304, third floor, end of the hall. Through the window, he saw them. A woman, exhausted eyes, a little girl in her lap, pigtails, pink backpack. The woman's mouth moved, slow, careful. Why Daddy can't come home yet? Why Daddy needs a different kind of chair? Why things will be different now? The girl nodded, too young to grasp it fully, old enough to know something was broken. Taylor's hand rose, to knock, to apologize. It froze, midair, like Leo's hand on the car door, blue-white, frozen. But this wasn't cold. This was weight. 20 minutes passed. His hand stayed there, suspended, useless. People walked by, glanced, kept walking. The woman stood, lifted her daughter, pointed outside, at birds, at sky, at anything that wasn't this room. The girl's face brightened slightly. Taylor's hand lowered, back to his side. He didn't knock. He turned, walked away. Down the hall, past rooms full of broken bodies, past the gift shop with its balloons that couldn't fix anything. Outside, Obadiah waited, leaning against a truck. He saw Taylor's face. Knew. You didn't go in. Taylor shook his head. Obadiah's hand settled on his shoulder. Heavy. Consequences don't care about intentions, son. His voice was quiet. Final. Now you carry their weight. Taylor looked back at the hospital. At room 304. At the window where a little girl was learning her father would never run with her again. Because of him. Because of a lie at a gate. Because of arrogance. And the belief that money and technology could conquer mountains. Obadiah walked toward the truck. Taylor followed. But something had changed inside him. Something permanent, like spinal injuries. But this was different. This was the death of who he'd been. And the painful, necessary birth of who he had to become. The hospital stood behind them, full of consequences, full of heroes who'd paid the price for someone else's pride. Somewhere in that building, a 6-year-old girl was learning that life isn't fair. That daddies don't always come home the same. That some storms leave scars you can't see. Taylor got in the truck. Obadiah drove. Neither spoke. The silence was its own kind of weight, its own kind of consequence, its own kind of truth. 3 months later, the ranger station looked different in spring. Snow melting, rivers running, life returning. Taylor knelt beside a snowmobile, grease on his hands, oil under his nails. The green uniform jacket hung on a hook behind him. Ranger volunteer patch on the sleeve. Not Gucci, not designer, just work clothes. He tightened a bolt, checked the track. His hands moved with purpose now. Building, fixing, creating value instead of consuming it. Martinez walked past, stopped, watched. Track alignments off by 2 degrees. Taylor looked, adjusted, checked again. Better? Martinez nodded. You're learning. Taylor had stayed, not in the family cabin, in the volunteer bunkhouse. Cots, shared bathroom, cafeteria food. His father had called 17 times the first week. Taylor answered once. I'm not coming home yet. Your trust fund is going to the Webb and Chen families. All of it. Set up the monthly payments. Silence on the line. It's done, Dad. The lawyers have the paperwork. He'd hung up. The trust fund had been $2.3 million. Invested properly, it would provide for both families. Not forever, but enough. It wouldn't give them back their legs, but it was something. Leo appeared around the corner. Ranger uniform too, his hair shorter now, face tanned from outdoor work. Trail crew needs help on the North Ridge. Taylor stood, wiped his hands. Let's go. They walked together. Different now. No more follower and leader. Just 2 people trying to earn something they'd lost. Heard from Stanford? Taylor asked. Deferred for a year. They understood. Leo had written them. Explained everything. Asked to delay enrollment. Chloe's film is doing well, Leo said. She'd made a documentary. Listen to the mountain. Interviews with rangers. Survival experts. Obadiah. No influencer tricks. No filters. Just truth. It had 800,000 views. Schools were using it. Real impact. Real value. Taylor still thought about room 304. About the little girl. About hands that froze, not from cold, but from guilt. Some nights he woke up seeing it. He'd never knocked, never apologized. Maybe he never would. Maybe that was part of the weight. That evening, he sat in the bunkhouse. Laptop open, the video file ready. He'd recorded it yesterday. One take, no editing. He uploaded it. Titled it, "I'm Sorry." No monetization, no ads, comments disabled. In the video, he stood in front of the ranger station. Green uniform, no makeup. "My name is Taylor Ashford. I'm the reason 2 heroes are in wheelchairs today." His voice, steady, flat. 3 months ago, I lied to a ranger, ignored warnings, trusted technology over wisdom. My arrogance put people in danger. He paused. Marcus Webb and James Chen flew into a blizzard to save me. They didn't have to. They chose to. Because that's what heroes do. Another pause. They'll never walk again. Because of me. Because I thought I knew better. He looked directly at the camera. Technology fails. Ego kills. If you're planning a wilderness trip, listen to the Rangers. Listen to people like Obadiah Carter. His jaw tightened. I didn't. And I'll carry that for the rest of my life. The video ended. He posted it. Closed the laptop. Walked outside. The mountains stood against the sunset. Massive, indifferent, beautiful. He'd hated them once. Feared them. Now he understood them. They didn't care about money. About followers. About who your father was. They only cared about respect. And respect had to be earned. Martinez found him there. Stood beside him. "The video's good," he finally said. "It's not enough. No. But it's something." They watched the sun drop behind the peaks. "Webb's daughter," Martinez said quietly. "She asked about you." Taylor's chest tightened. "What did you tell her? That you're learning. That you're trying." Martinez held out a drawing. Crayon. A stick figure in a wheelchair. Another stick figure standing next to it. Both smiling. Words at the bottom in child's handwriting. "Daddy says everyone makes mistakes." Taylor took it. His hands shook, not from cold, from weight, from the terrifying possibility of redemption. The cabin looked different now. The roof patched. The door fixed. The wood stove cleaned and oiled. Taylor, Leo, and Chloe had spent 2 weeks repairing it. Payment for a debt that could never be fully settled. Obadiah sat at his desk. An old tablet propped against a stack of books. The screen glowed. Taylor's video played. "My name is Taylor Ashford. I'm the reason 2 heroes are in wheelchairs today." Obadiah watched without expression, but his eyes tracked every word, every pause, every moment of truth. When it ended, he closed the tablet. On the desk, next to the USMC badge, lay a piece of paper, printed. A comment from the video. Username. Former arrogant rich kid. Day 89. Still here, still learning, still earning the right to that rope. Obadiah read it. Once. He didn't reply. Didn't need to. The rope hung on the wall. Clean, ready, waiting for the next lost soul. He stood, moved to the window. The valley stretched below. Green now. Spring had come. Somewhere down there, 3 years ago, his wife and son had made camp, had laughed, had watched stars, had said goodnight for the last time. He touched the window frame, worn wood under his fingers. "Still guarding the gate?" he whispered. He pulled on his coat, the same one from the blizzard, patched, weathered, faithful. Outside, the air smelled like pine and melting snow. He walked to the overlook, the place where he could see the entire valley. The sun hung low, golden. His voice carried across the empty space. Not loud, just steady. "The only map that matters is the one written on your soul." He paused. "Hold fast to that light, and you will never be lost." The mantra. The truth. The thing he'd learned in deserts and mountains and years of solitude. Below, a group of hikers moved along the trail. Young, careful, following markers, One of them wore a green volunteer vest. Obadiah smiled. Slight. The work continued. He turned, walked back toward the cabin, his footprints clear in the soft earth, straight, sure. The gate was always guarded. The rope was always ready. The light was always there for those who learned to see it. And somewhere, in a bunkhouse 3 valleys over, a young man with grease under his nails slept without nightmares for the first time in 3 months. Not because he'd been forgiven, but because he was learning to forgive himself. One day at a time. The mountain had taught him. The rope had held him. The light had shown him the way. And an old veteran with a worn badge and a broken heart had given him something more valuable than money or followers, a second chance. The cabin door closed. The fire burned low. The USMC badge gleamed in the fading light. Next to it, the printed comment. Still earning the right to that rope. Still learning. Still trying. Still becoming. And that, Obadiah knew, was enough. Have you ever been saved by a stranger you once dismissed? Or learned wisdom from someone you underestimated? Share your story below. And subscribe to Wisdom and Soul for more stories that touch the heart. The forest waits. The rope holds. The light guides. Always.